Hey classic TV fans, on this video I revisit the amazing two-part episode of The Incredible Hulk, the first, which showed us that David Banner wasn't the only Hulk to ever exist. I'll also show you some things you probably didn't know about the actors who played the man who transforms into the first Hulk and the actor who played the monster himself. And there's some spoilers ahead, but the show's been out for decades, so here we go. Now Banner finds that there was another Hulk in a town named Visaria. He goes there, of course, in search of a cure for his own transformations. A year before, something killed a teenager that stumbled upon a laboratory in the Clive house in Visaria. Now, in this episode, it was revealed that 30 years earlier, the deceased scientist named Jeffrey Clive had created a gamma chamber to cure Del Fry, his assistant, of a blood infection. But the radiation turned him into a savage Hulk. A farmer named Frank Townsend, who bullied Del often, was killed by the creature. While Banner is asking Clive's assistant Fry questions, two of the teens present during the previous year's murder attack Banner, thinking he may be responsible somehow. Now he hulks out, which is witnessed by Fry. Now later, Del gives Banner Clive's notes. David begins to read the notes. He scans through the book, but he doesn't find anything he's looking for. Then Del demands that he use the gamma chamber first to cure his arthritis.
I've had enough. I want the strength again.
And you want to live, always afraid? Always afraid of being hunted, of hurting other people?
Like who?
But David refuses, and Del knocks him out and puts himself on the table and subjects himself to gamma rays, which make him transform back into the first Hulk. The creature attacks David and knocks him out temporarily. As David reawakens, the creature escapes out a back door as David watches in horror, ending the episode on a cliffhanger. Later, now that Fry is feeling very confident now that he has his strength back, gets into a fight at the local general store and hulks out. Mr. McGee shows up asking questions, thinking Fry is the Hulk he's been after all this time. Banner has developed a cure for the Hulk, using a substance found in Clive's lab. By the end, Banner is able to give the cure to Fry, but before he can administer it to himself, Fry transforms into the first Hulk and smashes the serum, causing Banner to Hulk out for the big Hulk versus Hulk confrontation at the end of the episode. The sheriff ends up shooting Fry's Hulk, killing him while Banner's Hulk escapes. With the lab destroyed and McGee hot on his trail, Banner must go off to look for another cure in another place. Here's some trivia for you. The names Jeffrey Clive and Del Fry are tributes to actors Colin Clive and Dwight Fry, who played Dr. Frankenstein and his assistant Fritz in the classic horror movie Frankenstein in 1931. Now this two-parter is the only time in the series that the Hulk encounters another superpowered character, not counting Thor and Daredevil, who appeared in the TV movies that followed the show. The first aired March 13th, 1981. But in 1984, two issues of the Hulk, 295 and 296, featured an older Hulk, similar in appearance to the Fry Hulk, in that it was a taller, thinner Hulk, but it was a totally different character. Now Harry Towns, the man who played Del Fry, the man who turns into the first Hulk, was a character actor who popped up in a lot of classic sci-fi shows. He was in two Twilight Zone episodes, Shadow Play, where the entire world exists only as one man's nightmare.
It is right. Maybe this is all a dream. The thought has occurred to you, hasn't it, Hank?
And in the episode The Four of Us Are Dying. He was also on a very eerie show supposedly based on real-life events called One Step Beyond, in the episodes Anniversary of Murder, The Bride Possessed, and he was in another show that was kind of spooky, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, in the episodes My Brother Richard and The Creeper. Also, he was in an episode of The Outer Limits, Star Trek the original series, and a ton of other shows. Now, Towns was born and died far from Hollywood in Huntsville, Alabama. In the 70s, he served as an Episcopal priest a decade or so before his acting career ended, and eventually settled back into his hometown after retiring from acting in 1989. Now, he was quoted as saying, "I feel I was lucky to get the work that I did. You always feel thankful because there are so many actors for so few jobs that it seems God is being good to you when you get a job. Of course, I would have loved to have done better. We all would. but we always think that we can do better in one more take. On the whole, I'm satisfied though. As long as the audience was satisfied, then I'm satisfied. Towns died in 2001 in his hometown. Now, Dick Durock was the man who embodied the first Hulk. Durock was a big guy at the height of 6 foot 5 inches. He was born in 1937. He grew up in South Bend, Indiana and New Jersey. After serving a stint in the Marine Corps and briefly working as a computer programmer, Durock went to Hollywood to eke out a career in show business. He began his career in 1967 as a stunt double for Guy Williams on the final season of Lost in Space. Now, he also doubled for Buddy Ebsen and Max Baer Jr. on the Beverly Hillbillies. Now, he is best known for playing the Swamp Thing in the first two movies and the cable TV series that started in 1990. So I guess in a way we can kind of say the Hulk was actually in a fight with the Swamp Thing on screen.
Do not incur the wrath of Swamp Thing.
Now, he also ran into Clint Eastwood a couple times, playing a terrorist in The Enforcer and a brawler fighting Clint in Any Which Way You Can. He performed stunts in a lot of great shows and movies like License to Drive, Monster Squad, Bronco Billy, Doc Savage, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Magnum P.I., The A-Team, The Fall Guy, Knight Rider, and a lot more. Unfortunately, he died in 2009 at the age of 72. Thanks for watching, and for those of you that have been watching my TV Crazy Man video channel, you know that is Tim Frady, being me, mild-mannered writer, have been working on a graphic novel for almost a year called Liberty Ace. I'm really close to being finished, so look for that this month, hopefully, at Amazon. Of course, I'll likely be posting a video about Liberty Ace once it's released. And don't forget to check out my other more funny graphic novels like Caveman Comics and The Monkey Monster Man. Hey, please subscribe to my TV Crazy Man channel.